Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. Today's video we're going to have some Division 20 online gameplay, and it's actually going to be a fighter showcase for Khamzat Chimaev. This was requested by a subscriber, one of my latest videos, and if you guys want me to use any specific fighters, just let me know in the comments and I'll try to do a fighter showcase for them. So Khamzat Chimaev luckily fights in both welterweight and middleweight on the game, so when I got that time slot I just jumped in and tried to play some games. So unfortunately I didn't get to use him at welterweight. I didn't get any good gameplay with him, so couldn't use that. The fights were a bit boring, my opponent wasn't the best at welterweight. So at welterweight I'd say he's better than middleweight just because of his size, and where he's so stiff to use, where his character model is stiff, I feel like it's better to use him at welterweight where I can use the distance to avoid those big shots. And where at middleweight obviously everyone's taller, it's harder. So my first opponent here, he's using a Uriah Hall and he's a Division 12 player, so it was nice to see someone that was actually mixing up what players they picked, because normally you come into this division and I'll tell you the exact three fighters they always use. You're going to have Izzy, because obviously he's the best fighter. You're going to have Robert Whittaker and Paul Costa. They're the three fighters you're going to have constantly. So it was nice to see someone using Uriah Hall, but Uriah Hall isn't, his ground game especially isn't great on this game, and he went for a takedown here, I deny it, and then I managed to get the slam, and I love that takedown animation. And there's another way you can get into that takedown, which is when you clinch, if you hold R1 triangle, you get him into the position where you can knee them to the body and head. So you're holding your one arm behind their neck, I believe, and one on their arm, and then R1's circle pickling, you'll pick them up and dump them. So the fight's early on, and one thing to note is it's only got 3 rounds. I'm used to fighting 5 rounds, so because it's only 3 rounds, I know that I can load a bit more and I won't have to worry about losing stamina for the later rounds. So right now I'm unloading. I'm not doing too many powerful strikes, but just getting my GA up and working my opponent's block, and I'm just implementing the strategy. Obviously Chimaev, he wants to get you to the ground, he wants to smash you, but he's got a perk which is good. He's got I think he's got out the gates, and then he's got the perk where hooks and uppercuts do more damage. So his stand up isn't obsolete. Obviously it's not the greatest, but if you have to use it, you can use it, and he can get you out of danger. And one thing to note, and I was very surprised with this, I don't use him often, but from using him when he was first released into the game, I noticed that his head kicks, when they land, do a lot of damage, and a lot of people don't expect you to throw a head kick when you're using him. So that's one thing I try to implement when I'm trying to use him every round, or once every 2 rounds, because they're expecting you to shoot for the takedown. They're always blocking low, so you hit him with a head kick and you rock him. And here my opponent does a brilliant job of denying, but because he's using Uriah Hall and I know there's no threat on the ground, I know he's going to try to get up from the half guard. So he tried to get up and I denied it, and now I'm on top again. And this is what I want to do. I want to keep my opponent on the ground. I want that 10-8 rounds. I want to dominate. I just want to smash. And that's exactly what Khamzat's trying to do. So my opponent is doing a very good job of getting up, but I'm not sure what his stamina's looking like, so obviously I can't see on my screen, but just based on the damage I'm doing, I'm assuming it's lower than mine. And Uriah Hall's still very dangerous, and he goes for the kick there. He was out of range, and I managed to get a takedown again. So my game plan's working very well, and I'm noticing that I can get the takedowns when I want. So I know that going into the next round, that as long as I keep getting these takedowns, I should be able to get the finish. And another thing I've noticed is that when I first used Khamzat, when he first came out, is that his submissions, they weren't great, but just where I finish a lot of opponents with submissions, I know that if I need to, I can. And going into round 2, if you look at my stamina, that is ideal for a 3-round fight. Going into round 2, my stamina's full. So that's why he's uppercut there, so his head movement's not bad. He hits me with a nice head kick, and when he done that I was like, I need to get this to the ground. He does a good job of denying a transition, and now he's starting to pressure me, which is exactly what you want to do if you're fighting a grappler. He's pressuring me, he's hitting me with the leg kick, and what actually scared me is that he hit me with that leg kick because my switch stance, I believe, is only 80 or 83. So if you're using Khamzat, that's one thing to look out for. His switch stance is awful. He denies my takedown, and then I try to get him to do the slam. He denies it again, so very good job for my opponent. And obviously you can see that where I was talking about the head kicks, they work. So I've managed to hit him with a head kick and it got the stun. So now because he's blocked 2 of my takedowns, he stopped them this round. I don't want to lose stamina, but I keep trying to do it. So I work him towards the fence, and then what I do is I take his back. I wait for him to transition, he doesn't, so I get to top mount. From top mount, I was waiting to see what he does, because as soon as you deny that first transition, the submission's going to be a lot easier. And a lot of people don't submit with Khamzat. When you come up against him online, it's normally just people trying to ground and pound you. So I start the submission, and I manage to... So as it's going on, I'm looking at the bar, I glance at it quickly, and I can see there's a little difference, but you can hear the noise through your headset, and I can see it's starting to get faster, so I know the submission's locked in pretty deep. And I know that even if I don't get it, on the judges' scorecards, when you get to like the stage 4 of the submissions, it gives you a lot of points. So I managed to pull off the submission here, which is good. My opponent was a very good fighter for someone in Division 12. Like, he denied a lot of things. He done better than some fighters I fought in Division 18 and 17 when I'm using a grappler. So, and considering he was using Uriah Hall as well, it was always going to be a dangerous matchup for him. So I just show respect to him at the end of the fight, and I did actually drop him message to say GG, and I was uploading this fight. And so that was the first fight, obviously against Uriah Hall, but I wanted to showcase Khamzat against someone that's of a better caliber than Uriah Hall. So the next fight we're going into, I'm facing a, I believe, Division 16 opponent, and he's using Israel Adesanya. So that's going to be a harder matchup because obviously Izzy's striking is superb. He's a 5-star fighter, good takedown defense, nasty knees and elbows. So before I even jump into the fight, the first round is where I try to work out what strategies I want to implement. Right. But going into the fight, you need to have a game plan of, alright, this is Izzy, I need to get him to the ground. And obviously, that's common sense. Everyone's like, oh yeah, obviously Israel, you want to get him to the ground. But what you need to do is you need to figure out the patterns in the first round and how to get the opponent to the ground. And when you do, how do you keep them there? So, like I said, the stand-up isn't great from Khamzat, so I don't want to keep it on the feet. So I shoot for the takedown after he misses the kick, and he denies it beautifully. So I know now, when I try to take him down, that if I go that side, say if I L2 square and go to the, I believe it was right I tried to go to, he can deny it. So next time I shoot the takedown, I'm going to go the other way, because I know he can deny that one, and I don't want to waste my stamina. Because as you can see, this one is actually a 5-round fight, so I want to get this to the ground as soon as possible to increase my confidence and decrease his confidence, because as soon as it gets to the ground, that's my area. So he's doing a good job at the moment. Obviously denied one takedown. He's hitting me with that switch kick, which I believe he has at a level 4, so that's very dangerous. He goes for the leg kicks, and that's what I'm really worried about, is the leg kicks, because my switch stance is so low. So he misses it, and this is where I was saying you need to pick up on the patterns. So I turned the other way, and now I know he can't block that way. So I just need to keep a mental note in my head that if I go to take him down, I need to go through this way, and he's going to have more of a trouble denying it. So get him to the ground, he's trying to transition now, and here it's the first round. I don't really want to do too much, I don't want to throw too much significant strikes, but what I want to do is I want to weaken my opponent. So that's what I start implementing here. So this fight strategy is obviously very similar to the first fight, but whereas a 5-round fight now against Izzy, I'm facing different threats. Yes, Uriah and Izzy are both strikers. They both throw similar, but Izzy's of a higher level, he does more damage, he's got more tools in his arsenal, and I've just got to be careful, especially with the leg kicks, because after Izzy beat Paulo Costa, his leg kicks got an increase in power by +1, I think, or +2, so I'm wary of that. I don't really want to be in the pocket too much, but when I am in the pocket, I want to be the aggressor, which is what I'm trying to do. And as you can see, I'm trying not to use too much head movement, because I don't want to swing and get clipped. And what he done well was he pushed me against the cage. He's done a good job of getting me towards the cage, and then he hits me one of those nasty elbows, and that's another tool people don't use very well, but my opponent done a brilliant job there. And as you can see, one thing he's doing, which it shows me he's a good player, when I circle out, he circles out. So he tries to throw a head kick there, which I could see coming. So I duck it and then I get him to the ground. And when I get to the ground, I believe just off the transitions, I know his stamina's not going to be in the best place. So here I'm just throwing some strikes to soften up his head, to do a bit of damage to his head health. I'm getting the deniers in. And this is a good first round. Although I've been stunned, when I've got him on the ground, I've started to pick up on the patterns. I'm denying the transitions, and as you can see, look, his stamina at the end of that round is very low. So he got the stun. However, I felt more confident. As you can see the stats there, it was a pretty dominant round for me. So going into round 2, I was interested to see what adjustments my opponent will be making, or if he's going to make any. So going into round 2 again, he's hitting me with that switch kick. And it's very, very dangerous. I want to keep my stamina as high as possible, especially against an Izzy, because if he starts pressuring me in round 3, 4, 5 and I don't have that stamina, all these strikes are going to rock me. So he starts pressuring me, which is the exact right thing to do. I'm moving out the way, I'm not backing against the cage, I want him to go towards the cage. And I'm trying to manage the distance because I don't want to get hit with the kicks. I don't mind getting hit with the punches, I know I can exchange back. So we get fairly close, so I shoot for the takedown and turn to the side. I know he can't deny, or hasn't denied as of yet. And he does a good job of getting up. I forgot Izzy has that get up straight away. So then he taunts me, which I've seen online just through other videos on YouTube as well. When someone gets taunted, they tend to lose composure. They go for the opponent, they get annoyed. But often or not, your opponent, when they taunt, it's only two things. It's either one, they're absolutely smashing you and they just want to show you that they're dominating you, or they're frustrated and they want a reaction. So one thing I was trying to do is not give them a reaction, and here I get a beautiful takedown, and I'm trying to mix up the takedowns and mix in for how I go for them. So what I waited for him to do there is I waited for him to jab, and as he's jabbing I shoot for the takedown because I know he's not going to deny, and here I get off some good ground and pound. So I go for the submission, which isn't a joint one, just to see what his submission defense is like. And just because submissions look good on the scorecards for the judges, especially the longer they last, the longer they lock in for, the further the stage they go, the more points you get through the judges, and it wastes time. So if you're ever fighting someone, it's the last round and you're getting absolutely smashed, or you're just trying to play out the decision, go for a submission, and it wastes so much time. So he gets out of it well, and I start ground and pounding, trying to do as much damage as I can. Obviously it's only round 2, it's a 5-round fight, so I just want to do small increments of damage now, and then absolutely bombard him when I know his stamina is depleted in the later rounds. And I know just because of how much I'm denying, how many strikes I'm getting off, these stamina's not going to be in a good position. So this is perfect for me. See, here I was going to work the body, but right now I'm just doing damage to the head, so that when we're standing up, it's not going to take much for me to actually hurt my opponent, because all it's going to take is my opponent to come out in round 3 and start pressuring me. And if I've only done damage to his body, yes, his stamina's going to be low, and yes, if I hit him with a body shot, he may get rocked, but the risk of going for a body shot is getting caught with a knee or getting caught with an uppercut. So if I do damage to his head, I know even a jab could rock him. So I'm trying to work his head health and get it as low as possible right now. And I'm also trying to keep my stamina in a good position. So we've got 10 seconds left, and he gets me here. And he tries to posture up to throw strikes. That's a good position to throw ground and pound, but I deny it. So that round was another very successful round for me. And going into the next round, I was very, very confident. So in my head, the game plan was to finish him in round 5 or 4. It was just to take all his stamina away, so he doesn't have the tools to throw the strikes he needs to finish me. So we start boxing, a little, get into exchange, and instantly I'm like, no, I don't want him doing that. Shoot for a beautiful takedown, and here, I want to start softening up his head, but he gets the get up transition. And this was my fault, because I should have picked up on it, because it done in the last round, but it just slipped my mind when I was playing. So as you can see, this is the danger. His head movement's so fast because he's Izzy. He can hit me with strikes a lot easier after he dodges mine. So I'm bearing that in mind. I'm throwing strikes, but I'm throwing a few strikes, but they're strikes to hurt him. They're strikes to break his guard and get him thinking. And again, this is the takedown that I was saying. When they throw the jab, you slip right underneath it, you pick him up. And I tried to make it realistic and walk towards my corner like he does in real life. So I go to get to his side and he denies it very well. And now he's on top, so I'm just staying calm because it's Izzy. He can't do much less ground and pound, so that's what he tries to do. He tries to posture up and I deny it. I try to go to half guard, but he gets up, which is the right thing to do for him. I'm against the cage now, so a bit wary. I throw some strikes just to hurt his block, and again he goes for the knee and then elbow, which is what a lot of players do when they're stuck with Izzy. I'm in range for one of those takedowns, so I shoot them again, and now I'm starting to get the takedowns a lot easier. So it's about controlling him on the ground. So get him into a crucifix, and he does a good job of getting out. Go for the elbow, and he does a good job there. Knocked out the nice transition. And it's a shame he doesn't have a Kimura from that position, because they're the type of fighters I like to use. I dominate you inside for trying to have the Kimura and just end up submitting you. Unfortunately, he doesn't have that, so he gets me up now. He tries to go for a takedown, I sprawl. And so this round's been another very good round for me. And in my head, when I was talking about game plans, obviously you want to wrestle Adesanya. You want to wrestle. But this is why I was trying to get his body and head health so low and his stamina low, so that in round 4 and 5, what I haven't done in this fight in particular, these 3 rounds, is I haven't shown him the clinch. So Khamzat's clinch game is very good, and I haven't let my opponent see that. So going into round 4 and 5, he's not even going to expect it, and because he's down on the scorecard, he's going to push even more. So it plays in my hands. Because he's going to be pushing me, I won't be having to try clinch him from a distance, because he's going to be next to me, so I can just clinch him, work him towards the cage, and that's what I intend on doing. So here I get the beautiful rock with the head kick, which, like I was saying, the tool that a lot of people don't know that Khamzat has. No one expects it. So he gets the rock, and then I get the takedown, and luckily his knee doesn't land, because I don't know if you can see he tried to throw a knee there. So 2 seconds left, round finishes, and this round is where everything's fallen perfectly so far. My game plan's gone absolutely amazing. So now what I want to do is, going into round 4, I want to take him, I want to clinch him, and I want to give him something else to worry about now, because he's going to have to push these next 2 rounds to try to finish the fight. So he's going to be pushing, and then after he has his little burst, because my block's quite high, I'll be able to take the shots, and then I'll clinch him, and then I'll start working it. So that's the plan. As you can see, my stamina's quite good for going into round 4. I'd say it's in an ideal position. So I know his stamina's not great. I'm letting him have his little flurry, letting him gain a bit of confidence, and this is where I was saying it's important to start doing damage to the head, because where I've done the damage to the head, it didn't take much for me to actually get a stun. Managed to get on top of him, because we've got in the clinch to take him down, and he does a good job of getting up. Hits me with the switch kick, and this is where the clinch starts to come into play. So I'm clinching him, pushing him against the cage. He does a good job of getting out. As soon as he stops frying, clinch again, knees to the body, just working his body, hitting his head. And this is exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trapping him against the cage so he can't move, and then I'm clinching him. And this, unfortunately, is an annoying thing to fight against. It's very annoying to fight someone that's clinching and constantly trying to grapple, but when you're using Khamzat, this is what you've got to do. And his stamina is in an awful position right now. And where he hasn't been expecting the clinch, he coming into this round, it's going to be a new threat for him now. He's like, oh no, I'm getting clinched. And one thing is, you don't want to clinch in the middle of the octagon. You want to push him and clinch towards the outside, so you can push him against the fence. So even if they get out or you get out, they have nowhere to go. They have to sway to the right or left, and when they sway, the best thing to do is hook to the body or hook to the head, whatever way they're swaying, you get a rock. So here he's pressuring me. I hit him with a knee that stuns him, and then I get the drop through the jab. He gets back up, he's against the cage, so I clinch him. He does a good job of getting out. And one thing you don't want to make the clinches too predictable. You don't want to keep clinching. He's taunting me again, because obviously you can't understand, he's going to be very, very frustrated. So this round is going swiftly. It's going exactly how I want it. The clinch is working very well. I've got 2 drops, I believe, and however many stuns. he misses the kicks, I get him in the clinch, and it's just to punish him. It's just to say that if you're going to get close to me, this is what's going to happen. I try to go for the takedown there, he denies. Try to go for the takedown again, does a good job, and his head health so low that even you see that little jab's causing him trouble. So I get him here, trying to finish him with a ground pound. He does a very good job of surviving. So I go for an armbar, and armbars, when you're using guys that don't have the best submissions, normally take around 50 seconds, and I saw that's what was left. So I thought, let me do this to get more points on the scorecard, even though this was a very dominating round, as all the others have been. I was just doing it to test his submission defense, and as you can see, the clock's running down. It's about 18 seconds left now, and my opponent's done a good job, but I know where he's tired. Next round, if I need to, I can submit him. I was just getting a gauge of how good his defense is. And going into, obviously, the final round, I know that his head health's very low, his stamina's low, body health's low, so I knew it's not going to take long to get the finish, and I knew maybe within the first minute of this round the fight should be over, and I've given him something else to think about with the clinches. So he taunts me straight away and tries to hit me with a flying knee, keep him with the body shot, try to go for the head kick finish, and here we go, here's the clinch, knees to the body, and again he didn't even have stamina to throw the kick well, hit him again to the body, and he's just getting dominated. He has nowhere to go, uppercut hits him, and that's the fight over. My opponent rage quits after. So that's the Khamzat Chimaev showcase. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.